After a couple days of aggressive talk, tonight it appears Trump is giving Iran a chance to capitulate, a chance to surrender. Caroline Levitt today giving us a direct message from the president. Take a listen.
I have a message directly from the president, and I quote, "Based on the fact that there's a substantial chance of negotiations that may or may not take place with Iran in the near future, I will make my decision whether or not to go within the next 2 weeks."
So within the next 2 weeks, Trump has given Iran weeks now to come to the table. He was clearly frustrated yesterday when he demanded to know why they didn't negotiate for 60 days. As that Iranian delegation took 3 jets to Oman, they scrambled those planes to get to Oman. We know that Steve Witkoff has been talking to Iran's foreign minister, but Trump's patience clearly is running thin. He said within the next 2 weeks, he'll make a decision that could be really any time. And if Witkoff tells him that Iran is still just stalling, trying to buy time, look out. Overnight, Israel continued hammering Iran and its nuclear sites. Iran responding with more cheap shots against civilians. They bombed the largest hospital in southern Israel. And in response to that and a lot of injuries, Israel's defense minister saying this.
I want to say a dictator like Khamenei, who heads a country like Iran and has made the destruction of Israel his mission, cannot continue to exist. The IDF has been instructed and knows that in order to achieve all of its goals, this man absolutely should not continue to exist.
So that's a senior Israeli official saying that it is time for the supreme leader of Iran, the Ayatollah, to die. Not long after that, really not very long at all, just about 2 hours ago, a large explosion in a northeastern suburb of Tehran that's called Lavizan. This is where many senior Iranian officials live. This is also where the Ayatollah is hiding in a bunker. And all we know at this point is that there has been a fairly large explosion in that neighborhood. We await more information on what that might be. And as we wait, the White House continues to push back against some of MAGA's biggest names who have created a fracture in Trump's coalition. It was a question at today's press briefing. Take a listen.
What's your message to everyday Trump supporters, not the Tucker Carlsons or other big names, but everyday Trump supporters, grassroots who voted for President Trump to stop the wars, rejected this in the primary, going into another war with voting against Nikki Haley, and they want to see non-U.S. involvement in this war? What's your message?
Trust in President Trump. President Trump has incredible instincts, and President Trump kept America and the world safe in his first term as president in implementing a peace through strength foreign policy agenda.
Trust the president. The press secretary also reinforcing why the president is taking this bold action that's making MAGA's isolationists feel so uncomfortable, telling reporters that Iran has everything that it needs to build a weapon. And if the decision is made to do it, it would only take a couple of weeks to do so. U.S. Central Command seems to agree with that assessment. From 9 days ago, the CENTCOM commander saying it is estimated that current stockpiles and the available centrifuges are sufficient to produce its first 25 kilograms of weapons grade material in roughly 1 week, and enough for up to 10 nuclear weapons in 3 weeks. There's a big difference between trying to start a war and trying to prevent one. This is clearly prevention. You can't let Iran behave this way and also build nuclear weapons. It's no different than taking out Soleimani during the first term. Show the mullahs in Iran who is boss, because they are acting like fanatical lunatics. Put the fear of God into these people, and as the White House works to keep the confidence of Trump's base, there are Republicans out there that are not helping at all. Here's Thom Tillis straight up pushing for regime change in Iran.
It's time for regime change. And I believe that this president should be given a fair amount of leeway to effect that.
Okay, not really a popular place to go, but that's Thom Tillis. That's not Donald Trump. This kind of rhetoric has terrified some of the MAGA base. The fear that Trump is aligned with that kind of thinking. The president has indicated time and time again that he cannot stand that mentality. Just listen to how he's talked about George W. Bush, how he's talked about Iraq. all the words that he said, all the speeches he gave to become the president of the United States in the first place. During Trump's first term in 2019, Iran shot down an unmanned American drone. CNN reported that at the time, Bolton, Pompeo, and Pence all wanted Trump to authorize a retaliatory strike for the shooting down of an unmanned American drone, a retaliatory strike that would have killed 150 Iranians. The president, with all that power and the ability to do so, the ability to do anything he wants, said no, and then explained his decision.
Everybody was saying I'm a warmonger, and now they say I'm a dove. And I think I'm neither, if you want to know the truth. I'm a man with common sense, and that's what we need in this country is common sense. But I didn't like the idea of them knowingly shooting down an unmanned drone, and then we kill 150 people. I didn't like that.
Should be clear enough for everybody that's still screaming right now, including some very influential and very important people that are inside of his coalition. He's not looking for a war. He's not looking for a fight. Doesn't that make it clear? All of the power that you put in him, and he says, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. I don't want to kill all those people. No Americans were killed. We're not going to kill anybody. He's just not looking for this. He's not looking for a fight, but at the same time, you can't be the pushover either. You can't be the warmonger. You can't be the dove. You got to find the middle. If a bunch of Islamic, fanatical psychopaths are building nuclear weapons, yeah, that's got to be shut down, Tucker and Steve Bannon. That's just got to be shut down. That's not starting a war. That's preventing perhaps the end of the world. Luckily, we now have people in the White House that can see the threat of Iran for what it is. Prior administrations absolutely did not want to see it, and were actually terrifying when it comes to Iran. Take a listen to this. This is from just a couple hours ago. This is Obama's former Undersecretary of State for Public Diplomacy. Take a listen to this.
They chant death to America. I went to Iran in 2014. I was sitting at a rally. These young guys were chanting death to America. I had a minder. I said, what are they saying? They're saying death to America. They finished the chant, and two young men came over and said, are you American? I said, yes. We want to welcome you to our country. We love American culture and love American movies. They wanted to talk about all these things. Iran is the most Western nation in the whole Middle East. We have much more in common with them than a lot of countries that we do have alliances with.
Iran is the most Western country in the Middle East. We have alliances, and he marginalizes the fact that they chant death to America inside of their parliament. These are the kinds of people that worked for Obama. These are the same people, of course, you know, these are the people that worked for Biden, too. Not a lot changed when he got Biden in. It was really Obama's third term. Think about that guy, Robert Malley, that we talked about quite a bit, who was basically just an Iran propagandist working inside the U.S. State Department and all the people around him. This is how Iran became so emboldened. And think about all the money that Obama gave Iran, how much they've encouraged this, helped them weaponize this ridiculous ideology that they follow, how dangerous this is. We have had some of the worst foreign policy clowns in the country, running the country, for 12 of the last 16 years until now. And this is how you get where we are. It's terrifying. You know, everybody's reporting the same stories, the same spin. You turn the channel, it's always the same. But not us. We're different. We report the real news. No spin, just the facts. Turn to us, and you won't turn back.
Tune in to Rob Schmitt tonight on Newsmax.